Hey everyone, imagine a place where you've got towering skyscrapers standing right alongside absolutely breathtaking natural wonders, a place where dreams from every corner of the world come to life. Today, in this explainer, we are going to break down the history, the staggering power, and the relentless innovation of the United States of America. And we're going to frame this not just as a dusty collection of historical facts, but as a living, breathing story of reinvention. So to really get why the United States is one of the most influential nations on Earth, we kind of have to look at it through three core traits: ambition, resilience, and constant innovation. It's this continuous cycle of adapting, failing, rebuilding, and pushing boundaries that has allowed the country to shape the modern world. Honestly, it is the very DNA of the nation. Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to look at the foundations of a nation, its diverse landscapes and nature, the innovation engine, a cultural melting pot, and finally, how it's shaping the global stage. Let's dive right in. All right, Section 1, Foundations of a Nation. Let's look at its deep roots and rapid expansion. This whole thing is a story of unprecedented expansion. Long before European settlers ever showed up, Native American civilizations were building these incredibly diverse, thriving cultures across the continent for thousands of years. Then, boom, we make a massive historical jump to 1776, when 13 colonies declare independence from Britain and spark the Revolutionary War. From there, it was just a dizzying sprint. We're talking a nation pushing across a massive continent, surviving a truly devastating civil war in the 1860s, quickly transforming into an industrial giant, and ultimately emerging as a global superpower in the 20th century. Now, emerging from that Revolutionary War victory was a powerful trio of architectural blueprints for the new nation: liberty, democracy, and equal rights. And these weren't just some lofty philosophical ideas, they were literally the radical machinery meant to run a whole society. Obviously, the historical journey to fully realize these ideals has been complex, imperfect, and deeply challenging, but they still remain the absolute bedrock of the American system today, dictating how the nation governs itself and corrects its course. Moving right along to Section 2, Diverse Landscapes and Nature. Let's talk geography and scale. To really wrap your head around American ambition, you've got to ground it in massive physical scale. Globally, the U.S. ranks third in total land area. Just think about that for a second. That sheer, staggering expanse required serious innovation just to navigate it. And today, it provides the abundant natural resources, the space, and the literal groundwork for the nation's immense economic power. And stretching all the way from the Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast to the Pacific Ocean on the West Coast, that vast scale is divided into 50 distinct states. While they're all united under one overarching federal government, each state actually operates almost like a mini country. They bring their own totally unique geography, natural resources, and fierce local identity to the national table. Because of that insane size, the country encompasses absolute extremes. You've got the freezing, snow-covered mountains of Alaska existing in the exact same nation as the warm tropical beaches of Hawaii. It's a landscape defined by awe-inspiring wonders like the massive, dizzying drop of the Grand Canyon in Arizona and the dense, lush forests of the Pacific Northwest. And thankfully, these treasures are uniquely safeguarded by a world-famous national park system dedicated to keeping them pristine. Okay, Section 3, the innovation engine. Let's dive into technology and the economy. As you can probably guess, that vast geography naturally fuels a really dynamic, high-octane economic powerhouse. Consistently ranking as one of the world's largest economies, the U.S. cemented its global status by becoming the birthplace of countless iconic brands. But what's really crucial here is that this is an economy engineered to build the future through massive, relentless investments in revolutionary technologies. At the absolute epicenter of this global technological push is Silicon Valley in California. This is where the boundaries of what is humanly possible get pushed on a daily basis. We're talking pioneering artificial intelligence, complex software, advanced robotics, and even leading the modern private space race. It's pretty wild to think that ideas generated in this single geographic spot literally rewrite how the entire world lives, works, and connects. But here's the thing. Tech hubs don't just run on computers. They run on brilliant minds. The true engine behind those technological advancements is the human capital, drawn from every single corner of the globe. American universities and research institutions act like global magnets. They attract the brightest, most talented students and scientists, creating this highly concentrated pool of intellect that just drives continuous, rapid innovation. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, a cultural melting pot. let's look at society and diversity.
This brings us to a really defining concept, the melting pot. The United States is incredibly unique because it's a nation built by people from practically every single country on Earth. And they don't just live side by side in separate little bubbles. They actively blend their diverse traditions, languages, and ideas to constantly reinvent and evolve the national culture.
And because the culture is this massive blend of the world, it appeals effortlessly back out to the world. This internal diversity naturally fuels huge cultural exports. Just think about it. Hollywood pretty much dictates the global film industry. Radically inventive American music genres like jazz, rock, and hip-hop have shaped entire global generations. And mammoth events like the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals, they draw millions of international fans, exporting American fashion, food, and identity.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Shaping the Global Stage. Time to talk international influence. All that domestic ambition we just talked about ultimately projects immense outward influence. The U.S. doesn't just keep its advancements isolated. Instead, it leverages its robust tech sector, powerful entertainment industry, and massive resources to play a highly proactive leadership role in international politics, global economics, and defense. It frequently leads the charge in global medical breakthroughs and large-scale humanitarian efforts, stepping in when crises arise around the world. But the ultimate pinnacle of this scientific ambition and outward projection didn't even happen on Earth. It happened in space. When American astronauts took those first steps on the moon, it wasn't just a win for one nation. It was a defining triumph for all of humanity. It set a permanent benchmark for human capability and showed us exactly what we can achieve when we aim for the stars. So, bringing it all together, the United States of America is far more than just a place on a map or a massive economy. It really is an ongoing, living story defined by three unwavering traits: the ambition to reach further than before, the resilience to survive and adapt through profound crises, and the constant innovation required to build tomorrow. Now, like any country, the U.S. definitely faces deep and evolving challenges, but its historical superpower has always been its capacity for sweeping reinvention. So as this story continues to unfold, I want to leave you with this. What will the next great chapter of American innovation look like? And more importantly, how will it disrupt and shape the future for the rest of the world? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time.